Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 4 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password is provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 4 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find the list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter multiplication. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. And I'm on grade 4 math. Let's just start with the lesson, that is estimate products multiply by larger numbers. Estimate the product, round each factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. So we need to round both the numbers to the nearest 10 and then we have to multiply, right? So how do we multiply 72 times 43? We need to see like the first number 72. 72 is between two tens, 70 and 80. Here is 72. That is just 2 points away from 70 and 8 points away from 80, right? So we have to round the numbers to the one there we have less distance, right? Like the 72 is near to 70, so it would be rounded to 70. So 72 is rounded off to 70. Same way, the other number is 43. That is between 40 and 50. That is just three numbers away from 40 and seven numbers away from 50. So 43 is near to 40, so it would be rounded to 40. Just multiply the non-zero value 7 times 4, that is 28. And then we have two zeros, then add two zeros, so that equals 2800. Got it? Let's just start with the test questions. Estimate the product, round each factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. 91 times 65. So 91 is just 1 point away from 90. So it is rounded to 90, right? And 65 is exactly the midway between 60 and 70. So it is rounded to 70. We always round up. If the number is exactly the midway between two numbers, we can round up. So 65 is rounded to 70. So here we have 70. So 7 times 9 is 63. And then add the two zeros, so that equals 6300. Option number 2 is the correct option. That is 6300. Got it? Option number 2 is the correct option. 87 times 43. 87 is rounded to 87 is rounded to which number? 87 is rounded to 90 and 43 is rounded to 40. 9 times 4 is 36, so that is 3600. Option number 1 is the correct option. That is 3600. Option number 1 is the correct option. 63 times 87. 63 is rounded to 60 and 87 is close to 90, so it would be rounded to 90, right? Now multiply the non-zero values. 9 times 6 is 9 times 6 is 54, so that is 5400. Option number 2 is the correct option, that is 5400. Please don't guess the answers. 64 times 22. Round each factor to the nearest 10 and then multiply. 64 is rounded to 64 is rounded to 60 and 22 is rounded to 20. Right now multiply the non-zero values. Just do 6 times 2, that is 12. And then add the zeros. So that is 1200. Option number 1 is the correct option, that is 1200. 49 times 61. So 49 is rounded to which 10? Nearest 10? 49 is rounded to 50, right? And 61 is rounded to 61 is rounded to 60. Just do 6 times 5, that is 30, and then add the 0, so it is 3000. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is our problems you can do on your own. Multiply a two-digit number by a two-digit number word problem. So let's just start with the lesson. A bagel factory produced 16 bags of bagels. There were 17 bags bagels in each bag. How many bagels did the factory produce? 16 times 17 we have to do, right? Let's just multiply. So let's just start multiplying the ones digit. 7 times 6. 7 times 6 is 42, right? We need to write 2 over here and carry 4. 7 times 1 is 7 and 4, 11. Now we're going to multiply with the tens digit, so add a 0 right below the ones. Start writing the numbers from the tens digit. 1 times 6 is 6, 1 times 1 is 1. Now simply add 2, 6 plus 1 is 7 and 2. That is 272. Let's just start with the test questions. A construction company purchased 46 tons of marble. The price was $87 per ton. What was the total price of the marble? So we have to do 46 times 87. Start multiplying from the ones digit. 7 times 6 is 42. Write 2 here and carry 4. 7 times 4 is 28. 7 times 4 is 28 and add 4. 32. Now let's just multiply from the tens digit. 8 times 6 is 48. Write 8 and carry 4. 8 times 4 is 32 and 4 36. Just add. 2 plus 0 is 2, 8 plus 2 is 10, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10, 0, 1. Carry 3 plus 1 is 4. That is 4002. That is 4002. Option number 1 is the correct option. A seed company filled 85 bags with seed. They put 22 grams of seed inside each bag. How many grams of seed are there in all the bags combined? So we have to do 85 times 22, right? So let's just multiply. Start multiplying with the ones digit. 2 times 5 is 10, write 0 and carry 1. 2 times 8 is 16 and 1 17. Now multiply the tens digit. 2 times 5 is 10, 0, 1 carry. 2 times 8 is 16 and 1 17. 0, 7, 7 plus 1 is 8 and 1. That is 1870. That is 1870. Option number 2 is the correct option. A bagel factory produced 16 bags of bagel. There were 17 bagels in each bag. How many bagels did the factory produce? That's the one we did on the tutorial, which is the correct option. So 7 times 6 is 42, right? 2 and carry 4. 7 times 1 is 7 and add 4, that is 11. Now now multiply the tens digit. 1 times 6 is 6 and 1 times 1 is 1. 2 plus 0 is 2, 6 plus 1 is 7 and 1 plus 1 is 2. That is 272. Option number 2 is the correct option. Janet bought 19 packages of paper napkins. There were 95 napkins in each package. How many napkins did Janet buy? We have to do 95 times 19. Nine times 5 is 45. Write 5 and carry 4. 9 times 9 is 81. That is 85. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 9 is 9. 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. 0, 1 carry. 9 and 1 10 and 8 18. That is 1805. That is 1805. Option number 2 is the correct option. Christine bought 80 jigsaw puzzles. Each puzzle had 50 pieces. How many puzzles did Christine get in all? 80 times 50. 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 8 is 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 5 times 8 is 40. So that is 4000. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. You can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is choose numbers with a particular product. Choose two numbers from the box to complete the multiplication sentence. So, which two numbers? Which two numbers have the product 80? So, which is the correct option? 10 times 8 is 80, right? The correct option is 10 times 8 is 80. Let's just start with the test questions. Choose two numbers from the box to complete the multiplication sentence. Which two numbers have the product 120? 12 times what number, like which two numbers have the product 120? You can look at the um, options given, right? So start with the first one, 12 times 12 and 10. So 12 times 10 we have to do, so we need to multiply the non-zero values. We need to do 12 times 1, that is 12, and add a 0, that is 120. Option number 1 is the correct option. 10 and 12 have the product 120. Which two number have the product 55? 11 times 5 is 55. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which two numbers have the product 40? So 10, 8 times 5 is 40. Option number 1 is the correct option, right? 8 times 5 is 40. Which two numbers have the product of 63? That is 7 times 9 is 63. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which two numbers have the product 80? That is 8 times 10 is 80, right? Option number 2 is the correct option. 8 times 10 is 80. Which two numbers have the product 70? That is 10 times 7 is 70. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which two numbers have the product 54? Which is the correct option? That is 6 times 9 is 54. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which two numbers have the product 14? Which is the correct option? That is 2 times 7 is 14. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which two numbers have the product 35? That is 7 times 5 is 35. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which two numbers have the product 20? That is 2 times 10 is 20. Option number 2 is the correct option. Which two numbers have the product 77? Eleven times 7 is 77. Option number 1 is the correct option. Which two numbers have the product of 18? That is 9 times 2 is 18. Option number 1 is 2 is the correct option. Which two numbers have the product 20? Very good. 4 times 5. Option number 1 it is. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So we were working on grade 4 math. Chapter we were working on is multiplication. The lessons we have covered today are estimate products, multiply by larger numbers. Word problems you have to do on your own. Multiply a two-digit number by a two-digit number word problems and then choose numbers with a particular products. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lessons you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write them down in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions. And so any questions you can please ask if you have any. No questions.